Y'all, I just want to say I highly apologize for I'm not trying to acknowledge Jesus. I'm just trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I apologize if this is not the shot that y'all looking for, but I'm gonna keep it a stack 5003, okay? I have attempted to make this video like a million times and have experienced technical difficulties with my phone recording being slow, me looking like a robot, me having a panic attack in the midst of me telling my story, breaking down, crying, me rambling because I'm nervous, not making any sense and getting to the damn point, not getting to the point. Yeah, so excuse me, this is very spontaneous. I just had to drop off a package. My son fell asleep, so I said, I'm in front of my crib, let me try to make this video really quickly because we need to get to it, okay? So I apologize, it's a little dark. Listen, act like it's a podcast. Don't even worry about the visual. Listen to my voice and follow me where I go, okay? Welcome to Embracing the Chaos with Jalissa Rose, where we are going to be diving into the beauty of life's unexpected twists and turns. Here we're going to be embracing the messy, the unpredictable, and the what the moments of life that make us exactly who we are. You heard? Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into this video. All right, this is going to be part one of my journey with anxiety and depression, and we're just going to be getting our feet wet a little bit. All right, first things first, I want to say the devil's a liar, certified hater. I can't tell you how many times I have felt like the enemy has been trying to stop me from entering the season of my life, but it's just not going to happen. There may be delays and it may not be exactly how I want it to be. Hence, this is not how I wanted the video to be in the car in the nighttime where you can't see nothing. But you know what? If this is a spontaneous moment that I'm given to get this started, then this is what we just gonna have to do, okay? I'm excited to start this journey. My story with anxiety and depression is gonna open up so many different umbrellas of some very pivotal moments in my life. So I want to encourage everybody while I am telling my story. I am going to be touching base a little bit on certain things. If you want me to elaborate more, if you have any questions, if there's something that I said that you're like, wait, you said what? What happened? Girl, tell me more. Comment down below and let me know, and we can make a separate video on that topic. So let's get into it. I got my handy dandy notebook, okay, because I had to take notes. I had to take notes because if you thought that I was going to do this out of the top of my head, which I have for the most part, you're bugging. You're bugging out, fam. Okay, so let's see where we're going to start. Girl, I was about to be like, anyways, let's try to hurry up because, yeah. Alright, so let's touch base a little bit on what life was like before being diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So, before being diagnosed, I lost my father at the age of 13. I just lied straight out of my teeth and didn't think about it for 1 second. I did lose my father, but I wasn't 13 years old. I was 10. And that was something that I just wasn't able to process. Like, I understood that my father was gone. I understood that he wasn't here, but like my brain really didn't understand like what exactly that entailed. I remember being told that my father was gone, and I'm just like, okay, so what's next? Like what's the tea? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I remember going to the hospital and being 10 years old and literally hugging everybody and saying, hi, how are you? What's up? Like, it's okay, don't worry, you're gonna be good. And everybody's just like, is this girl like mental? And like, little did they know I was about to be borderline schizophrenic. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but little did they know I was low-key. I just didn't know yet. No, I'm just kidding. Not kidding, but I'm kidding. You feel me? My brother even pulled me out the room and was like, girl, I talked about this a little bit in another video that I never posted because The devil is a liar. He's been trying to stop me from shining for a long time, and it's not happening no more. But listen, my brother pulled me out the room and was like, do you understand what happened? And I'm like, yeah, are you okay? And he's like, you know that dad is gone, like he's not coming back no more. And I'm like, I understand, are you okay? And he was looking at me like, yo, this little girl is like psychotic. Could have been, I don't know. But yeah, that was a moment of my life that was like kind of set me off. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to express myself. I feel like for many years before being diagnosed, which was about 3 years or so before I was diagnosed at 13. Yeah, so 3 years. I like forgot about my dad. My dad was a highlight and like the center of my entire existence. Like that was my most favoriteest, bestest, most amazingest person that I ever known in my life. And for some reason, like I just stored him in the back of my brain in a box that I just never touched again for a long time. And I would go through life and have moments where I'm like, oh shit, I have a dad and he's not here. Like that's how serious it was. I was very angry. I remember my mom cooking dinner for me and my siblings for what felt like the first time ever. And I just remember like her serving me, and I looked at the plate and I was just like, that looks disgusting. Straight up out my mouth, like no F's given. I was like, yo, that looks disgusting. I'm not eating that. Like I don't know why you cooked. Like I was just being mad disrespectful. I was super angry. But the fact of the matter was is that was my way of basically like expressing that I missed my father. I wanted my father and I missed my father. But I didn't know how to do that. So I was very angry. Like the way that I grieved was very angry. My father did everything. My father cooked. He cleaned. He took care of me as a kid. He taught me things. He took me out places. He took me to school. He picked me up from school. He did my homework. He fucking gave me tests at home to study before the test I had in school. Like my father was everything. So once my father passed away, my mom had to like step up and do things that I never personally, like I'm not gonna say that she never did, but like I don't remember my mom doing these things. So I'm over here like, I don't want this, you know what I'm saying? And it was because I really like wanted my dad, you know. I was just hella disrespectful, really angry. But it was just like with my immediate family, like outside of my household with my friends, like I was just a completely different person. Like I wasn't out in the streets wilding out, being disrespectful, being like crazy and wild and doing crazy shit. Like I definitely had my fun as I got older, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not innocent, but I wasn't like one of those kids that was like hurt and like going to school wilding out, disrespecting teachers and stuff like that. Like I never did nothing like that. It was just with my immediate family. I think because it was a big trigger for me, that, you know, it was a constant reminder, low-key, that I was living life with them and my favorite person ever wasn't here. I felt like I lost my protector. I felt like I lost the person that understood me the most. When my father was alive, I felt like me and my mom didn't have a good relationship. And it kind of got worse when he passed away, because I didn't have the one person that I felt like always had my back, to have my back. So obviously a lot had changed with his passing. My father was the one to keep me in a straight line. He kept me in check. He kept me orderly. Like he kept me on point. Like I don't know how else to say it. And I feel like although he allowed the kids in the house, me and my siblings, to like express ourselves and to, for the most part, speak our mind, like I lost him and started to experience feelings that I have never experienced before, and didn't have anyone that I felt comfortable like to talk to. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I lost my protector, and that was very hard for me to like digest. I realized that I was struggling a little bit. There was this one small, very small moment that I was going to school. Oh my god, I'm like getting emotional. There was this moment where I was going to school and I was walking up the stairs and I was in PS 239, and this is in New York, if I don't know. I was in PS 239 and I was walking up the stairs and I started to feel this lump in my throat, and almost like I couldn't breathe. But I just shook it off. And I kept on with my day. I never told anybody about it because I didn't think that it was anything to talk about. Maybe low-key I felt like nobody would have cared. But yeah, I never talked about that to anyone. Low-key, years later, that was like one of the first moments that I was developing like a panic attack or experiencing anxiety, and I had no idea. Now, the moment to where it kind of really set the alarm off that something was wrong, I was in 8th grade and we were taking a state test, and I started to like have a panic attack, but I didn't know what it was. So it started to where like my stomach started hurting a little bit and I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I asked to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and that's when I start having a full-blown panic attack, and I end up going to the nurse's office. When I go to the nurse's office, I'm tripping out. I'm crying. I can't breathe. I'm telling the nurse I can't breathe. And when I tell you, the nurse is there so calm. She's just staring at me mad calm. And she's like, just breathe. This is gonna pass. You're just having a panic attack. You're gonna be okay. I don't know if I said how old I was. At this point, I was like 12, 13 years old. I'm looking at this lady, and in my head, I'm like, how the you expect me to breathe when I'm telling you that I can't breathe? I'm literally gonna die. Like, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna die, and this lady is sitting here looking at me like nothing. Like, I think that she wants me to die. Like, I literally thought that she wanted me to die, and like she was gonna let me just die right in front of her. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, that shit was freaking me out even more, because I was just like, obviously I didn't understand what was going on. She was trying to explain it to me, but my brain wasn't processing that, and I just thought that she was gonna like let me die. And she's asking me if I want water. She goes to get me water, whatever. It passes. My mom gets called, and my journey starts from there. That was one of the scariest moments that I have ever experienced, because like I said, I really thought I was going to die. My life was never the same from that point on. I just remember it being super chaotic. After that day, I was scared to go to school. Like, I was absolutely scared to go to school. Now, mind you, I missed this little part, okay? My father passed away while I was in school. So looking back at it, I think that the first moment that I had that little lump in my throat and I started to develop anxiety was because I was low-key worried about one moment. I was scared that I was gonna be a little girl with no parents. I really thought my mom was next. And I never told nobody that. But I was this little girl holding on to such a big burden and really believing in my mind that I was gonna come home from school one day and I was gonna not have a mom. And I just really believed that I was gonna be a young girl with no parents. And I feel like that's what triggered me developing anxiety, specifically when I was in school. After that panic attack, I did not want to go to school. I did not want to go to school. I fought with my mom every day to go to school. It was just really, really, really bad. Like, it was really bad. The school was calling my mom and basically threatening to call child services if I wasn't going to school, because it was a point where I was not going to school for days and weeks on end. And now they was on top of my mom's, and my mom's was dealing with, you know, she just lost the love of her life, and she was dealing with her own struggles before he even passed away, and now she got to deal with losing the love of her life and taking care of these 3 kids and trying to get her act together. I just can't imagine what she was experiencing, and me as a child, I just wasn't caring. Like, I was in my own world. I was a kid, you know, I was dealing with my own struggles, and I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to express myself. Because I had such a weird relationship with my mom's, like, I just was very mean to her. And despite all her own things that she was going through, like, she really tried her best and did what she needed to do to help me. I remember her dragging me to school one day. Literally dragging me from inside my crib to outside the crib, all the way to school. I lived on Seneca and Palmetto, and oh my god, I just realized something. It's crazy because I knew that as I start to tell my story, I was gonna start to remember certain things. So remember how I said I felt the knot in my throat when I was in PS239. I didn't have the panic attack until so that must have been like just a little bit after my father passed away, because I didn't get diagnosed, or I didn't experience the panic attack until my 8th grade in junior high school, which was in 77. My mom had to literally drag me to school one day, from Palmetto and Seneca all the way to 77 High School. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. And I'm literally screaming and crying the whole way there. I didn't even care if any of my friends saw me. Like, I didn't care about being embarrassed or nothing. I just knew that I didn't want to go to school, and it was because I was scared to experience that again. Like, I was having anxiety about having anxiety. Crazy. From then on, like, the school was like, you need to put her in therapy, you need to do something, we need to start keeping a record that you're doing something to get her taken care of, because she has to come to school. So from then I started to see a psychologist or a psychotherapist and a regular therapist. And when I tell you that I was so like closed off, like, I wasn't allowing these people to help me. I didn't trust nobody. They would ask me how I was feeling and all this stuff and all these questions, and everything was just very like short and very like, I wasn't giving them no type of information. I know that the psychotherapist had prescribed me some sort of anxiety medication, and because I had experienced some people close to me in my family abusing substance, I didn't want to be on that. I was a 13-year-old little girl. Like, I'm gonna be a drug addict. Like, I don't want this medication. And I remember having to take half a pill and just being in my mind like this shit is not gonna work, and then I'm gonna have to take a whole pill, and then I'm gonna be taking a whole pill and a half, and then I'm gonna be addicted, and I'm gonna just be popping pills. Like, I was having anxiety about everything. My brain was all over the place. I remember feeling like I was crazy. Like, I remember just being, I remember being super young and just having such a hectic, busy life, and I just knew that I was not like other normal 13-year-old girls and boys. Like, I just felt so out of the loop. I felt so like, I felt like I was crazy. I felt like I was not normal. My anxiety from then just got extremely worse. I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't go on the train. I couldn't go on the bus. I couldn't be in big crowds. I couldn't do none of that because I would start freaking out. I remember one time we was on the train I was on the train with my mom and my sister, and I think we was going to an appointment with my mom, and I just started like having a panic attack, and I was like, yo, we gotta get off the train, we gotta get off the train right now, we gotta get off the train, I'm gonna freak out, like, we gotta get off the train. And I remember my mom being like, okay, just breathe, like, we're gonna get off the next stop. We got off the stop, and I just remember her being so like optimistic at that time, and like, you know, it's okay, we're not that far, we can walk. Do you want to walk? We can walk to my appointment. It's nice outside. And we walked there, and you know, she was making conversation, trying to distract me, and I just remember in my head just feeling like, why am I like this? Like, I used to cry and pray to God and ask why am I not normal? Like, why do I have to live this life? Like, why am I experiencing this? I'm scared to go outside. I'm scared to be around people. I remember that my friends started to notice that something was off about me, because I am a very bubbly, like, bright, silly, crazy, loud person, and I just wasn't giving that. And obviously we was all kids, so I don't expect them to have understood, but like them questioning certain things and being like, oh, you mad dog, oh, you being like this and that, like that, used to really hurt my feelings. It used to bring me down. It used to make me just want to not be out, you know, even more, because I'm like, they right, like, I'm not myself, and I can't explain why I feel this way, you know. It was a very difficult time for me, but one thing I can say is that, yo, my family, like, everybody just like stepped up. My grandmother was taking me to my appointments, and my mom was making sure that everything was on point and that I was getting the assistance that I needed. And you know what, at the time I wasn't appreciative, because I still had this thing against my moms, and sometimes you're young and you're just really, you know, I was a kid that was going through so much that I didn't know how to express myself. I was just dealing with so many different feelings, and I did not see, you know, how much work my family was putting in to make sure that I was good. Like, I just felt like a burden, and I felt very down about myself, and it was hard. I was a little kid experiencing a lot. I need to take a moment. I think I'm gonna stop here. Because I know this video is probably already long. If you made it this far, I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. If there's anything that you heard, like I said in the beginning, that you would like me to elaborate more on, let me know. Comment down below and put me on. I would be more than happy to make a separate video on whatever it is that you're curious about. This is just part 1. This is gonna be about a part 5, 4, 6 This is gonna be about a part 5 or 6 series on my journey. So sit back and enjoy the ride because it's gonna be wild. Okay. I'm so excited. I know that this is gonna be so healing for me. This is my therapy right now, and I'm hoping this is gonna be inspiring to anyone that has experienced or is experiencing these things, to know that you are not alone. You're not crazy. You're not fucking psychotic. You're a human being living in a very chaotic world. You're not alone. I got you. I feel you. Okay. Now, what else to say? My mind is racing right now. Thank you again for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in part